Kuphina kuphi emakhaya amadolobheni asekomplasta khona sesifikile thina bekunene ngehlelo lakho ilungelo lakho it's your right silethela ngehlelo lapho ngihamba phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure mbukeli bonakala ngathi ke ihlobo lemshado longalihlanganisi ke timphahla phecelezi i-out of community of property abanye babita ngethi kwakho kwami awusahambisani nemthetho sisekelo waseningizimu Afrika lese yesijubo ke lesikhishwe inkantolo lenkulu yasePitoli manje ke sesilinzeke kwelulekwa inkantolo edlulisela emacala i-constitutional court kuze kuthi ushicilele ke lesijubo ngaphandle kokuthi ke singise ukuthi ke lesijubo ke sisho ukuthini sitandlalela ke lombike emva kwesikhashana kepha kwanyalo ke sitawungena ke endzabeni yethu namhla sina asimukele ke tintetfu tivakashi tetfu ke letivakashele namhla sina sinabameli abakhulu lapha sina Mpho siphinze sibe na Tafani gentlemen samukele hlelo sanibonani
Sawubona bhuti.
Sawubona njani? Siphile kunjani? Siyabonga. Siyabonga. Okay Tafani ndawucala ngawe ukuthi ke asesichazele kabanti ke tinhlobonhlobo temishado la eNingizimu Afrika before we get to the discussion.
Ngiyabonga bukile emakhaya. Imishado esinayo lana eMzansi i2 kahle. Kunomshado in community of property. Lo okwami ngokwakho, okwakho ngokwami siyashare lapho ke. Then umshado wesibili it's out of property. Okwami ngokwami, okwakho ngokwakho. So lemshado le okwami ngokwami isebenza kanje whatever you buy ungathenga anything emshadweni nami ngiyangena lapho njengomyeni wakho nami ngathenga something emshadweni nawe uyangena ke njengomakoti wami so law is in community of property then out of property lento oyithenga yona wena emshadweni ngeyakho nami into ezoyithenga yona emshadweni ngeyami even mangithenga indlu ngihamba ngiyosayina ngiyi1 out of property man nawe uma uthenga indlu njengomama wasendlini uzosayina uyi1
okay
so that's out of property so out of property is also into 2 ikona out of property vayibiza including accrual
yes
which ukuthi kokona into engizongena nayo emshadweni izoyeke ngeyami but lokho zokuthola masemshadweni sizokushare that's the accrual
okay
then excluding accrual ithi yona okwami ngokwami okwakho ngokwakho even emshadweni yonke into izoyithenga yona
that is in community of property with accrual out of community property with
excluding accrual
okay
so ithi yona okwami ngokwami
right
even emshadweni ingathenga izindlu ngathenga imoto ngavula amakhampani ngawami nawe njengomama okwakho ngokwakho akuhlangani indawo that's out of community excluding accrual
okay
yeah
now Mpho yini ke lama sections noma ke the parts of the Divorce Act that the High Court found to be unconstitutional
Okay bathole i-section 7 subsection 3A whereby it says ukuthi the spouses laba ba enter into a marriage
yes
before the Matrimonial Property Act they can actually go and claim a certain percentage from emshadweni lo beba enterile like if you were married out of community of property with your partner prior to the Matrimonial Property Act
yes
you can actually go and claim, you can lodge a court application like this one that we are discussing today to say, because I was taking care of the family.
Yes.
I was actually taking care of indoda yami.
So, ngibani ke kumele ukuthi acclaim ngilolo instituted the divorce proceedings noma ngilolo munye kumele ukuthi acclaim ke assets.
Yes, hulo o institutile ama-summons. Kakhulu abafazi
yeah
so abafazi because dala nibesiyazi ukuthi they were taking care of the household they were not even allowed to ukuthi basebenze so the men would actually go out ayosebenza so now if manje indoda or umfazi maybe sakabona ukuthi they are being abused in the marriage then they would want a divorce so mabafuna i-divorce kanjalo then the wife will say ukuthi because maybe they had entered into out of community of property then the wife will say ukuthi because I was taking care of the children, now in Dotayami, namhlanje nemali, you're a businessman because of me, because I was taking care of you. So can the court at least ingnige is share? So a court in an exception to say we can give you 40% or we can give you 30% or 10%.
So ngalama fishane ke umfati ke kulomshado unalo ilungelo lokuclaima assets noma ngabe angakawasebenteli.
Yes, because he was actually contributing. Section you are contributing directly or indirectly. So directly to say maybe through cash, maybe you need donation nemali, maybe nini manginemali umfazi maybe ngisavile then ngiyakunika ithi indoda yami gcwalisela ku business yakho.
Yes.
Indirectly I will be taking care of the children. Yimi ngisa abantwana esikolweni ekseni yimi ngiyisa abantwana, maybe if there's sports esikolweni and stuff, so I'm actually contributing to the marriage indirectly.
So is it cast in stone yini kudzingekile ukuthi kube ngilomfati vele utawuclaima, because what if it's the other way around? What if umfati noma ke make kuleli khaya nguye lo breadwinner, babe akasebenzi, babe nguye lo ugeza abantwana amix abantwana esikolweni?
No, ubaba unayo same right.
Okay.
It's just that with this case, the recent case here, High Court, umuntu afake ama-claim was the wife. But then judgement, it does not actually also exclude amadoda. So if I'm an attorney and then when maybe you are taking care of my children, sishadile, you can actually lodge a claim against ukuthi no, but then I was actually contributing to our marriage because mina bengidoda ngihlele ngipheka, I was doing laundry for you, so you can actually issue a claim against mina.
Okay. So Tafara, yini kepha inkantolo lekutfole ku-unconstitutional ngale Divorce Act?
Angizwanga ukuthi
Yini inkantolo letfole ukuthi ku-unconstitutional? What is it that the court found unconstitutional?
right. Inkantolo yase Pretoria ithole ukuthi kokhona i-wording of the act itself was problematic. Ngoba i-wording besithi kokhona imshado ingenwe before 1984. Ama-couples, ama-partners banalungelo lokuclaima for redistribution.
Okay.
Ukuthi kona nami ngacontributor ku-estate yakho ngicela okuncane i-court ngihlephule kancane, then laba shade after 1984 were excluded. So umthetho kumele ulinganise abantu, umthetho kumele ulungise indaba.
Which means kulabo labashade before 1984 awubatsinzi lo mthetho lo.
Bashade before basiza
1984
lo mthetho,
okay.
but after bengasizakali. Yothi mawuthi ushade out of kumuntu property exclude the accrual after 1984 vele awutholi lutho, even ungacontributor no matter what level of contribution, awutholi lutho ku another partner because bathi kona it's after 1984.
I see.
Of which umthetho kumele ulungise indaba, umthetho kumele ulinganise abantu. So laba we've got two groups of people, both bashade out of property excluding the accrual, but abanye because bashade before 1984 bayathola something.
Okay.
Abanye bashade after 1984 abatholi lutho.
Okay.
So that was the court.
Yeah.
Like the recent case, the couples were married in, I think it's 1988. That was after the matrimonial.
Okay.
So that's why the wife felt ukuthi the act is unconstitutional because it discriminates those ones that got married after the
Just share with
matrimonial.
us I mean, what's the case being 18?
Okay. In case it was a woman that was married to a farmer. So this man was a farmer, the family business yakhe behamba kahle.
Yes.
So she was actually a housewife, taking care of the children. So now because ikhona divorce, umfazi uthi the parents made her to sign an antenuptial contract, which is out of community of property. So now she went and approached the High Court to say, I cannot leave this marriage with nothing because I was actually contributing indirectly. This marriage is this successful. So that's why the section 7 subsection 3A, it's unconstitutional. So now we're just waiting for the Constitutional Court to verify is it constitutional or still unconstitutional.
Hey, ngoba ngitsena ngikhulumisana ke nabantu abaningi ke labanye bathi basaba nekushada nyalo. Ngoba phela hey uthi umuntu utawusebenza asebenza impilo yakhe yonke make welikhaya angenti lutho bese ke sothola 40%.
No, it's actually not automatic.
Yes.
And with even only this case law, you actually have to prove to the court you are entitled to get something.
Yes.
So it's not an
That's
automatic.
my question.
Yes, it's not automatic.
How do you prove? What are the reasons that you advance to the court?
You have to section 78 divorce. You can prove like what I just said earlier on to say that you were contributing to the marriage indirectly. If you were giving donation to your husband or your wife, like I said before, taking care of the children, business or entertain your clients. Business in yakho, so I was actually contributing directly or indirectly.
Lengakuvisisi kahle ukuthi ke nangabe the contribution yami was not financial. Kuthi mina my contribution was through labor. My contribution was physical. How do I prove that? And how would the court arrive at the conclusion kuti this is how much I'm entitled to? Nangabe mina I contributed physically.
You'll just have to prove. You can make you can go to an attorney. They can draft an affidavit to say, I used to work a company, maybe a law firm in Indoda. I was the receptionist. I know how the business behamba kanjani.
Okay.
Then it's the discretion of the magistrate or the judge to say, okay, you are entitled to 20% or 10%.
Okay,
so it's not an automatic.
It's not automatic.
You have to prove to the court ukuthi you are entitled to receive something.
Okay, so kahle you have to make a very strong case go judge noma magistrate.
Yeah, and kakhulu frustrate abafazi because you find that you are being abused by your husband.
True.
In the marriage, and then you are used to this lavish life. You are staying in a big house now. You're not even supposed. Because there are other men who don't want abafazi ukuthi basebenze. Abanye maybe you chose ukuthi ube you housewife. Now if you get divorced, uhamba unganalutho, then it's a problem because now it means ukuthi you have to go and start looking for a job of which you were not even used to ukusebenza. You used to living in this big house now. Kwamele uhambe manje ohlala endlini encane or uhire umkhukhu. Yeah.
Okay, please hold a thought. Please hold a thought. Start careful. Asibambe lapho ke mbukeli sisishelela ngasetolo. Please do stay with us. It's a very, very interesting discussion that we're having today. Leli Yilungelo lakho kungasanyakati. Sikwamukela futhi ke mbukeli tingo ntetho setvuliwe ukuthi nawe ungaba ingcenye lenkulumo yethu ngasishela kwicingo ku 0117146918 noma ke 0117146919 ungasithumela futhi na-email ku consumer@sabc.co.za ungaphinza uhlanganyele nathi ke ku Facebook namhla ke bekunene sikhuluma ke nge Divorce Act noma ke sijuba senkantolo lesikhishwe inkantolo ukuthi ke umthetho thide wemshado lokuthiwa ke art of community of property noma ke kwakho kwami inkantolo sayitfole ukuthi ke awukho emthethweni sesimele ke inkantolo lenkulu endluliswe lamacala constitutional court kuthi ke isishicelele ke lesijubo namhla ke sinebameli sinampho kanye ke na Tafara ke I mean just off camera we just talking about the fairness of the fact that it's not automatic ngoba lomunye umfati sengiyabekisa nangabe ke make welikhaya akasebenzi and nguweke lofuna kuphuma kulomshado noma ke institute the divorce proceedings uthola ukuthi ude nemali ngoba phela siyathi ukuthi each and every divorce proceedings inemali yakhona there's a cost involved. What if utele mali utathanza kathi sengidawuyekela vele? Just how fair is it?
Kunjalo Simphiwe umthetho lo awukho fair nakhona ngoba it's not automatic. So kumele udinga imali, udinga ummeli, not just ummeli nje. Ummeli uyasazi istory sakhe. So udinga ummeli uzohamba enkantolo ayenze application in the divorce proceedings so that now uzothola i-redistribution. So kuyenzakala ukuthi awusebenzi. Uhleli usendlini. Nemali ya lawyer awunayo. Awusuzomthola ummeli.
Yes.
So ukuthi uzoluza even to this victory abantu besifazana abanye abantu that in the situation uzoluza ngoba awunayo imali yommeli. Uzohlala endlini ungakhona ukubhadela ummeli. So even so kuba nzima. So nakhona kumele abantu bonke the situation badinga imali, badinga ummeli uzobasiza enkantolo.
The good thing is that sina illegal aid. Yes. So if banganayo imali yokubhadala ummeli, they can actually approach the legal aid.
Oh, bangalithola usito nakhona.
Yes, they do. I'm doing a matter, I'm a respondent one, they're being assisted by illegal aid. So they can actually approach the legal aid to they don't even have to pay anything. But divorce is very costly.
Very
so
expensive,
in order for you to challenge the whole act,
So asasikhulume ke ngaboma ke lotfola ukuthi bashade out of community of property without accrual but itfole sebahluphekile sebangena lutho.
Makunjalo kuba nzima njoba Mpho esitsho ukuthi kona unga-approach legal aid uthole ummeli and uthole ummeli uzofuna ukuthi alwele amalungelo wakho.
Yes.
Ngoba amanye abameli bazothi kona ngathola imali kulungile ngiyayithatha imali ngiyayidla kulungile next stage but uthole ummeli uzoba willing to alwele amalungelo wakho ahambe all the way like bheka yona le case le ummeli wathi kona uthi kukona ngizomlwela wazohamba ecourt to challenge whether this thing is constitutional or not. This act. So you need a lawyer who's going to have a passion to pursue your case through.
Right.
Abanye abameli angathola imali sokumnandi uyazidlela aphume kuwe. So kumele uthole ummeli uzokwazi ukusiza kahle ngendlela efanele.
Yes.
So it's very important ukuthi uthole ummeli umbhadale futhi naye akwazi ukusiza kahle. Uma uhamba ku legal aid yakho umele bayokusiza kahle. Ungathola umuntu athi kuna amakhezi amaningi nje ngizoyenza nje lokhu kuyenza khona then move on. Yabo? njengoba ekhuluma necase even ama-case amanye ama-NGOs abanye abayenzi umsebenzi, they take time ngoba bathi kona amafele amaningi, so naye kumele uthole umeli uzimisele ukuthi ayenze umsebenzi. Abanye abameli abazimiselanga, kumele azimisele ukuthi umsebenzi lo ngizoyenza kahle, ngiyenze ngendlela,
right.
so that labo mama laba sikhuluma ngabo nabanye abantu amadoda, that is the situation, bakwazi ukusizakala. Kumele athole umeli with passion for the work.
Okay.
Not just umeli nje.
So what should happen now? Kumele simele i-constitutional court kuze ukuthi ushicilele lo mthetho noma ke the divorcing parties can now claim assets from their partners.
No, they're not allowed to ukuthi ba claim it now.
Oh, short
We're still waiting for the Constitutional Court to make a final ruling to confirm the judgment.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Ake bekunene. Let's take our first caller. Sina Vuyo lapha eMpumalanga. Sakumole ehleleni Vuyo, sawubona? Vuyo eMpumalanga, sawubona?
Siyabona futhi njani?
Siphilile kunjani baba?
Siyaphila.
Khuluma nathi baba.
Siyaphila.
Khuluma nathi silalele baba.
Futhi sicela ukubuza la ukuthi kule ye contribution mangabe ushadile nomuntu lo osozodivorce naye. Sicela ukubuza ukuthi if bongakhona bongamsiza emsebenzini ngama records wecompany like bongakhe admin yakhe nani but bomsiza nje ukuthi umayinele umwashele noma emsebenzini ngostala clean endlini clean charity yonke into, lokho kona kuyakusiza ukuthi uthole something mabe nihlukana nalowo muntu.
Okay, Vuyo false trust. Siyabonga kakhulu ukushayela. I guess it goes back to the question that I asked earlier. Ukuthi how do I prove my physical contribution to the marriage? And I would love both of you to niphendule.
Zoyiphendula kahle. Contribution can be indirectly or directly. Masikhuluma nge-direct contribution sikhuluma ngendaba zemali. Njengoba sisimpo esitsho laphana ukuthi uyafaka imali. Uthi ngifake 2 rand yami laphana ngifake 3 rand yami laphana ku business lakho. Then second contribution is indirect. Ukushanyela endlini uya contribute. Ukumphekela uya contribute.
Yes.
Ukuhambisa abantwana esikolweni is contribution. Ukugesa abantwana yonke lento le is contribution. Ngoba you are doing this for the sake of the estate, joint estate. Ubaba can go to work and enjoy ngoba kunomuntu who can go and take abantwana emini esikolweni. Ubaba can do everything, akusela maid endlini. Umama ubhizi uyaclean, uyawasha. We are taking care of that house.
I guess umbuto omkhulu ukuthi ngikuprova kanjani lokho enkantolo ukuthi ke my contribution was indirect.
Ungabhala even affidavit.
I said earlier on.
Okay.
Ungatsho ku affidavit ukuthi kokona look nami ngenza ABC ngoba usually akula register endlini ukuthi kwasheba namhlanje ku ayeba namhlanje just
Yeah, unless if you guys had unless if beninayo imate esizayo endlini.
Yes.
Then the husband will say or maybe the wife will say but then I had hired someone ukuthi ageze alanda abantwana athisha abantwana ukwenza ama homework, so you were just sitting wena bomfazi nje uhleli because there was someone that we hired.
Which means that in that case angeke akhone ukuthola lutho nangabe bekuna makelo sebendako.
The court will decide on that one, but then you just have to prove your case like we said earlier on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a second caller. Sina Busisiwe sakumule ehleleni Busi. Kunjani?
Yebo njani?
Siphilile kunjani mama?
Ngiyaphila. Ngicela ukubuza awukaze ngifikane ngathola ukuthi sengidivorcile. Ngingakaze ngisayine maphepha.
Angiva mama. Phenza umuntu wakho.
Yebo, ngathola ukuthi
Sicela uphenza umuntu wakho makangakuva.
ngathola ukuthi sengidivorcile. Ngingakaze ngisayine maphepha ngaye eMaritzburg. Umyeni wami wangidivorca ngingazi.
Nangabe umyeni wakudivorce ungadi.
Ngingakaze ngisayine maphepha.
Okay, all right. Busisiwe enkandla siyabonga kakhulu ukushayela. Okay, Mpho. Yes, cela uphendule.
So in circumstances la abantu baba divorce athi mama yena she was not there, she did not sign anything. It's whereby we issue summons ama divorce summons uwe to say ukuthi mina ngumpho sengifuna divorce. You see ama summons you don't approach I lawyer ukuthi ukusize. Uyahlala nje wathi hayi mina angifuna ukudivorce, but then you're not doing anything because if ungafuna ukudivorce you can actually defend the application.
Okay.
So if you're not doing anything, then we can actually get a court date. And then on that court date, we also inform you, we send you a set down. Awuzi lapho e court foot. We proceed the court, the judge will also, the magistrate will grant us a degree. of
But
divorce.
again, isuke
I've
i-valid
done that
divorce leyo.
matter.
And okunye i-valid but
It
okunye
is.
i-divorce summons ahluke namanye ama-summons wonke. We-divorce summons kumele the person that being divorced asayine. Unlike ama-summons uma ngiclaim imali kuwe Simphiwe, ngingasitshela even umntana wakho endlini, ngingatshela isisebenzi sakho is valid. But ku-divorce summons kumele wena usayine live wathathe. So kuyayenzakala ukuthi abanye
So if
abantu
angisayinanga mina, does that make the divorce?
awusevwanga.
I think
Does it
maybe
make
no.
it-
I think
maybe as
awumusisi
valid
makathi
as-
yes ngiyabona ukuthi
yeah.
anizwisani. Makathi ukusayina it means ama summons we
Afikela
divorce
kuwe.
kwamele afikele kuwe not
Personally.
kubhuti wakho or mina usisi wakho.
Personally.
You must sign ama sheriff makafika akunika ama summons kwamele wena usayine ukuthi ngiwatholile then kuzoba nento esibizayo a return of service.
Yes.
On that return of service
So if lama summons angawasayini, then the divorce is not there, it's not
Yeah, no.
valid.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
not-
So
it's
now
not
the problem
valid.
is here manje Simphiwe ukuthi kokona umunye umuntu uzobaleka angasayina ama-summons.
Yes.
Angafika endlini bangathi dinga uTafara uthi akekho, usheriff angazi. Ngithi akekho uphumile. Ngiyabe ngikwazi ukuthi inkosikazi uyangidivorce. Ngithi akekho uphumile uTafara. Afike futhi kusasa ngithi akekho. Then he reported to the other side asimtholi lo muntu lo. So usually ama lawyer of the other part bazoyenza court application. Kuthi sicela simsave lo muntu lo via email, via WhatsApp, via Facebook. And ama judge noma judge bayavuma lokho. Then bangavuma the next thing then you can be divorced ungazi. Because uzothola i-order ukuthi kona they can save you via email, then bakuthumele ama-summons via email, set down via email, ekhothi bahambe wena ungazi. But abanye abantu bayi-abuse that system already. Ukuthi bazodinga email ingekhoyo eyamanga.
Okay, so to answer Ubusisiwe, if ama summons akazange wasayina, then i-divorce is not valid.
no it's not.
Okay. So
it can
nangabe
be valid.
wawasayina ke lama summons, then
It can be
she's
valid,
officially
depends.
divorced.
It depends.
Or registered post, if maybe nakhona, if they can't find you, maybe via laphayana, they can actually send them via registered post. And as ukuthi maybe you can just add on that.
Yes. Because the other thing is divorce summons, lento sithi divorce summons, you must sign them personally. So kumele bakuthole.
Okay.
So mabangakutholanga amanye ama-lawyer mostly like nathi siyakwenza, we make an application enkantolo. Kuthi lo muntu asimthole, uMsimphiwe asimthole. Sicela ukuthi sivumele simseve via WhatsApp or Facebook.
Right.
So usually abanye abantu bayaku-abuse lokho, bakuvulele i-Facebook page yamanga. Sihambe court sitshele ujudge ukuthi judge, lo muntu ukhona Facebook. uMsimphiwe nansi. Ukhona active but asimtholi physically. Sicela ukuthi simseve kubi via Facebook. So ngakamba ifile lase Pietermaritzburg udiscover ukuthi khona yonke i-documentation ikhona. Ukuthi bathi khona bamtholi lo mama bacela umdivorce via Facebook or WhatsApp and bayadivorce via Facebook or WhatsApp and then adivorce bangazi. Abantu abaningi bathi angazi. Amdivorce.
Bathi njani divorce njani ku-Facebook?
Facebook.
Bengakashadi Facebook.
No, mawa ngakutholi. Siyacela ujudge. I've done so many divorce via Facebook and WhatsApp.
Really?
So many of them.
Wow.
Hayi, that's a first. Hayi, ngiyaqala ke lokho. Hayi, ngiyaqala ke lokho bekunene. Let's take our next caller. Sina Azane lapha e-East London sekumole hleli sawubona.
Molo Mokgehle. Molo Mokgehle tano azani yapha eMdantsane eSt London.
Siyabonga baba, khuluma naso baba.
Bawa mina yami problem manje yinde ngicela nginyamezele. Umfazi wafaka i-divorce 2008.
Okay.
Ndayisayina ndavuma uba nami ndiyavuma uba ndohlukane naye kuba ke wayesele moshe kakhulu.
Okay.
Now wa-attenda ke nake case namagqwetha oYaxberg mna ngabe nisebenzisa legal aid. Up until today, a cause is under the case andinayo i-degree of divorce. Of which ke ngonje kunzima ngaphinda ndithande omunye umuntu ndishate nomunye umuntu ndibeke ndinemhla uba ndingaphinda nditshate. And ke ngonje yena ubambe ubomi bami ngola hlobo and akasekho ebomini bami and waphuma kudala. Then ngoku ndibanjwe izinto ezinjalo ndingancedakala njani because illegal aid isuka ivala i-case without my consent. End up ndisiya-uplifta ifile yam e-High Court eGrahamstown.
Kusho Azane lama-divorce papers wawasayina?
Yes, Commander, ndawasayina ngokheli yam and as we speak I've got papers endinazo apha from 2008. I-case yakhona yena wazibetha ngoyayifaka kwi-High Court apha e-East London.
Okay.
Then yeah.
Siyabonga kakhulu ukushayela baba. Please stay tuned to SABC 1 Yilungelo Lakho. We'll take a break now. Our guests will answer your question. Thank you so much for your call. Kwanyalo kumukeli asiphinze nasatitolo hlanganyela kanye nasingasanyakade. Welcome back. Kumbula ke mbukeli ukuthi tincingo tufule solo tivuliwe ukuthi nawe ungaba ingcenye lenkulumo yethu. These participation lines are now open. 011-714-6918, 011-714-6919. These are participation lines on your screens right now. You can also email your thoughts to consumer@sabc.co.za. Ngaphinda usifole futhi na ku Facebook. If you just joined us, a warm welcome to you. Namhlanje sikhuluma ke ngesijubo senkantolo ke. Remember that the High Court in Pretoria has ruled that the Divorce Act, which means ukuthi out of common of property is now unconstitutional. Sesimele ke inkantolo lenkulu, i-Constitutional Court ukuthi ke ushicelele ke lo mthetho lo. But before we get to the conversation, let's now take our next caller. Sina Nomonde ulapha ke Cape Town. Sekumule ehleleni sawubona.
Sawubona baby, sithetha Nomonde people down. Umbuzo wami bengifuna ukucela apha kuba lawyer ubuza into kubana umamami wadivorcwa ngutata ngo-1981. And then
Nomonde usakhona? Oh, we've lost Nomonde. Nomonde in Cape Town, thank you so much. Let's hope that my colleagues will try to re-establish connection with Nomonde. But Mpho na Tafara, I want us to discuss the question earlier that we've heard. I think Azana from East London. Azana ukhala ngekuthi what divorce nemngakhe wawasayina nema-summons. Kepha ke divorce decree ayikakaphumi. It's now a bit confusing. Ngoba earlier on sikhuluma ngekuthi as soon as usayina ema-summons, then that divorce is valid. So if a decree ingakaphumi, does it make the divorce valid?
Okay, can I just also verify you on that one? If useviwa ama-summons by the sheriff of the court, it doesn't mean ukuthi already is any divorce. You just receiving the document ukuthi it was actually served on you. So when akwamele ukuthi we defend, you have to go and approach the attorney yakho if unemali, or you can go to the legal aid. The attorney will do a notice of intention to defend. And then after that, it will be between the attorneys to say, are we settling the matter? Out of court, exchange my documents, because that will also drag a divorce. So, a divorce, a degree of divorce, keep. Kamela see a court whereby will tell the magistrate in Dabazetu to say if there's a settlement to say, Your Worship, Nama defendant, we have actually agreed to settle the matter out of court. Yes. So there's a settlement agreement, can be order of court. Then the magistrate will make the settlement a final order. Okay. So I think abantu maybe when once they receive a summons, already say divorce.
I see.
That's why ubaba the caller manje athi akakatholi degree of divorce. You won't find. Is
he officially divorced yini? Ngoba yena ukhala ngekuthi akasakhona ukuthatha lomnye umfati ngoba so he's stuck basically.
Yes, it's because he did not continue with the divorce process. He's actually supposed to defend the application. Bayenza ama notice of intention to defend, bayenza ama plea, you know, those documents must be exchanged between the attorney. That's why uthi akakhona ukuqhubeka ngempilo yakhe because he's still legally married to the wife.
Right.
That's why angayitholi le degree of divorce because usashadile no mama.
Right. Tafara, your thoughts?
And to add on that as well, kwayenzakala ukuthi kokona ku divorce umama ahambe kumameli a divorce institute ama proceedings then yena a defend kuphela asayine mhlawumbe a defend kuphela kumele afile i-plea yakhe. Suppose usayine i-plea yakhe kumele naye force the other part through the court ukuthi bayenza ama next process. Sometimes yayenza ukuthi kwenze i-discovery like siveze lezi amaphepha ama-documents asendlini that your power claim. So when ungabona umunye umuntu umile the other side, you do an application to court ukuthi ngicela lo muntu lo sikhambe siye phambili. So yenzakala ukuthi kona ubaba nje usayinile ama divorce summons wahlala wathi buya kuba umama akayenza movement. So ungabona mama akayenza movement now uyaphakama ngenyawo uyenza movement umove kwenza ukuthi divorce ibe finalized. Okay. Otherwise now ungahlala kune problem enkulu kakhulu ngoba ungashona kusukunje umama is your wife for purposes. Sure. So ungashona ungatholanga i-divorce decree umama can come to your estate athi lo amyeni wami lo bekisa divorce bekese sine process iqalile kodwa ayiphelanga ngicela nje imali ngicela inkomo ngicela nje indlu yakhe and umthetho yakuvumelela lokuyamnikeza ngoba seshadile.
Can I just add on?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Kulaba like i-case lebe sidila ngayo manje ikhola.
Yeah.
If maybe since you receive ama summons and awuyazi nokuthi kwezakalani, you can actually go a court uplift file like akhulumile uyibheke ifile lakho ukuthi isastakile na kuma summons na or already there is a degree of divorce na, because sometimes ungathola ukuthi umama uchubekile ngaphandle kobaba, maybe ubaba akayazi namanje ikhona I degree of divorce lapha yana efilini. So if you not sure, go to the court lane jurisdiction ukudila ne matter yakho lapha emasamonsini ibhalile lapha yana ukuthi which court you can go waya ku register. The register of the court will actually uplift your file and then they will check ukuthi is there a degree of divorce now or isastakile ku ama summons na.
Ngiyakuthola. So asasithi mina nawe sishadile in community of property and then mina ke ngidecide ukuthenga ama properties behind your back awathi lutho. So nangabe sesiya divorce, are you entitled to those properties that I've bought behind your back?
Yes.
Ngoba phela sithenge ngemali yami, ngoba phela isalary yakho yami, isalary yami yakho.
I'm entitled to claim from those properties. And into emakazayo ukuthi if the properties are under your name,
it's under someone else's name, maybe my brother noma sisi wami.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because now if the property is under your brother, then mina I have to prove ukuthi uyithengile le property leyana. But then if it's under your name, the conveyancer would have actually picked that up lapha at this office ukuthi lo bhuti lo ushade no Mpho.
But what if ngisebenzisa ema resources ale estate alomshado?
Befuna ukusiza lapho sipiye ukuthi kona into siyenza yona njengabameli, so we ask for what you call discovery emthethweni.
Okay.
Ukuthi kokona le mali leyo iphume lapho kuwe yothenga indlu.
Chazela about get discovered
ithi kokona sicela ama documents that we want that is in opposition. Angasisa ngekesi yethu. So sizocela ukuthi kona wena imali le yokuthenga indlu le yase Mokgehle home iphuma kubani. So we can actually trace ukuthi imali iphume FNB account eyakho.
Okay.
But indlu ibiza abantu Mpho wena.
Yes.
Therefore we say look, this is just a disguise. Sayifuna le ndlu le ku estate.
But we would actually need a bank statement. So,
but still, lendlu is a gamenda lomunye umuntu. In a title deed,
iphuma kuwe imali. I need that money. You are playing with imali estate.
Why did you pay 500,000 to your brother?
From our money,
from the joint estate.
Yeah. Our money. 250 good. That money is my money. Njengomyeni wakho. Unkosikazi wami thatha 200,000 uthengele Mpho wenyu indlu. 250,000 from that money is my money.
Okay. But you have to prove to the court, this case, you still have to prove that you are entitled to that money.
Okay. All right, let's take our next caller. Sina Msizi ulapha ke Durban sakumodel hlelo zawubona.
Yebo sanibona.
Kunjani baba?
Ngiyaphila njani?
Siphilile baba, khuluma nathi baba. What's on your mind?
Yebo nginenkinga lana nginosisi wami wazama ukudivorce wathola ummeli wami uthi imali nje kwaphela kanjalo. So manje ngicela ukuthola abameli abala eThekwini abaspecial ngedivorce ukuthi ngingabathola kanjani. Hayi laba abameli abayimeli.
So ufuna ema divorce lawyers ukuthi ungathola kuphi kanjani?
Yes.
Okay, sitayidzinga ikutha leyo ke emva kwaleli khefu siyabonga ukushayela Msizi is in Durban, maybe ndamsita ke but a little later on. But for now let's take another break. Stop pizza sibuye. Mokgehle asasiphinze ke asiphinde sinamukele futhi. Thank you so much for joining us. Leli Yilungelo Lakho. Namhla ke sikhuluma ke nge-constitutionality of the Divorce Act as per the Pretoria High Court ruling. Inkantolo enkulu yasePitoli has ruled ukuthi ke i-Divorce Act is now unconstitutional when it comes to out of community of property marriages. Namhla ke sitsingisa ukuthi ingabe kusho ukuthini lokho. Sawucela ukuthi nisishayele icingo on the numbers on your screens right now and share your thoughts. You can ask your questions because we've got legal experts, especially in the areas of divorce and the Divorce Act as well. Now, before we get deeper to the conversation, Msizi ke ubutile earlier on ukuthi ke angawuthola phi ama-divorce lawyers. Are you divorce lawyers? Or you can maybe recommend.
I think we are both divorce lawyers.
Okay.
Angakhetha mafuna umama ngihamba noMpho, mayifuna ubaba.
All right, we'll share details ke Ncongwane show. Lapha ke ngifuna ukuthi sikhulume kabanti ke ngama traditional marriages. Kuthi ke le Divorce Act noma ke le ruling ye High Court, does it affect traditional marriages? Daqala ngawo Tafara.
I-ruling le affect ama-traditional marriages, it's only affect imishado out of community property, excluding accrual. So i-traditional marriages, automatically they're in community of property.
Okay.
So that means uma ngalobola singenza umabo ngesintu ama-ceremonies kutsho ukuthi okwami ngokwakho, okwakho ngokwami, automatically.
Okay.
Whether sayinile basayinanga, okwami ngokwakho, okwakho ngokwami.
Okay.
I think I can also, it's true. And I think na abantu, the listeners, ababhekelele ukuthi before abantu these days, especially now, we have educated people who would come to our offices and say, we actually want to get married, see a patali lobola next month.
Yes.
But we want you to draft an antenuptial contract.
Okay.
It's either they will choose ukuthi they want it to be
antenuptial contract to go traditional marriage.
No. They don't want, because remember, ilobola, it's in community of property automatically.
Automatically, yes.
So if maybe before sipatali ilobola, because we are African people, then they will go and approach an attorney to say, "Uti, atina sifuna ukuthi umshado wethu ube out of community of property."
Okay.
But then the attorney has to draft that contract before ilobola is paid, because if you patala ilobola before, automatically your marriage is in community of property. So I think that's a lot of mistakes. They usually start paying lobola, then they will say, hey, okay, we actually want to marry out of community. Then now already that lobola marriage is automatically in community of property.
Okay, so bangenta njani ke ukuthi nangabe udiscover later ukuthi I made a mistake. Kanti ke so vele so ulobolile kanti ufuna kushada out of community of property.
Mr. Tapiru, I think that you can answer that.
Umele benze court application. If ungayenza ilobola first in the traditional ceremonies, then but you wanted to do out of community property,
yeah.
So depend manje. If both partners they are in agreement, mabevumelana ukuthi kona look very sifuna out of community property.
Yes.
Bangakwazi ukuthi bayenze, then they go and register their marriage like civil in
okay.
face. They are allowed. But inkinga iba khona if one of them says no ngifuna ukusayina lutho.
Okay.
Then you're in a big problem.
So if you are married out of community of property without accrual, and then one party of the marriage comes back later, can he or she have claim to those assets?
If you guys are married out of community
property without accrual?
No, you can't.
And then they've been divorced for a while. Apinza abuye, say for instance, mage ati ngifuna na TV, ngifuna na imoto, ngifuna na indlu.
No, you cannot, because already a degree of divorce would have been issued. So
okay.
If maybe mina nawe, they say shate out of community of property, start divorce in 2020. Now after this judgment, you cannot come back and say, hey, ngifuna le fridge, ngifuna nani. No.
Okay.
Already the divorce pelile. There's a degree of divorce.
Okay. So what if then we reach an agreement? We would say, okay, since we are married out of community of property, but then we definitely gonna share assets. You can take my black card, you can swipe, uhambe your diamond, walk and do whatever.
No, it's an agreement
it's
between...
Agreement.
It's an agreement,
but
yeah.
If it's a settlement agreement.
A settlement, yes.
Good divorce, ivumelekile. Ngokudivorce agreement ingayenza noma yini. Even mali shada income property. Ingathi indlu, the whole house ihamba kumama, nemoto zonke sikhamba kumama, we are allowed.
Okay.
Because
Okay. All right, let's take our next caller. Sina Thabiso, sakumoya enhlelweni sawubona.
Yebo njani?
Siphilile kunjani mama?
Ngiyaphila. Mina ngama questions ayithuna ne?
Yes. Go ahead mama.
Yeah, umbuzo wokuqala ngicela ukubuza ukuthi umagistrate uthatha nesinqumo sokwenza i-free divorce ngoba ngiye ngafaka i-divorce ngo-2019. Till now angikaze ngivele ngisho nase-court. So understand ukuthi like kwenzakalani ngoba ngaya ku-legal aid. So then even manje bakangifonela like basintsini ukungifonela last bangitshela ukuthi umuntu wami bamtholile but wabuye withdraw i-case. I don't understand ukuthi iyenzeka vele ngaleyo ndlela na.
So your ex-partner wawasayina lama divorce papers noma ke ma-summons?
Wasayina lawa ma-summons lawa bamdilivela wona la ma-summons lawa amaphepha we-divorce ya. So but the court asikafikanga. So since from 2019.
Okay. Siyabonga kakhulu. What's your second question, ma'am? Umbuto wakho wesibili?
Okay, ngicabanga ukuthi right, ngicabanga ukuthi
okay. All right. Hlaphi siyabonga kakhulu ukushayela ke. Mpho?
Can you repeat the question?
Well, ukhala ngekuthi ke i-magistrate noma ke i-judge, how does he issue a free divorce? Lokuthi ke yena wa divorce nga 2019 ne partner yakhe noma ke ex partner yakhe ke wawasayina lamaphepha.
So it means ukuthi, like I had said earlier on, it's still the same answer.
Okay.
If you are served with summons and ama-sheriff bakunika yona personally and you sign acknowledging ukuthi uwatholile and you don't defend the matter, your partner will ask e-court for e-court date.
Okay. Right.
Then
right.
after that, they will have to serve you a set down. So with umama azange akhulume maybe ukuthi uke wayitholi date or azange ayithole na, because you have to get a set down, a notice of set down to say come to court on the 12th of June.
Okay.
And then if you don't come to court on the 12th of June, I will tell the court, mina as an attorney, to say we've served ama divorce summons to the defendant, and she has received them, your worship, but then azange a defender uthulile up until if it's 20 days later edlulile akaka defend. Then now siyenze I set down sinayo I return of service from the sheriff, simsevile maybe return of service. You have to have proof ukuthi nimsevile though. Yes.
Yeah.
We've served umama ngeset down ukuthi aze e-court today, umama akakazi. So we ask ukuthi, can you make it final, because it means ukuthi lo muntu lo akekho serious akafuna ukudivorce, and it's, we've done all the procedure.
Okay.
You just have to prove to the court when as an attorney you give your court your argument, then the magistrate will decide.
Right, right. All right, asishiye lapho ke, and we'll take a final break. Hlala nathi ungasanyakati. Welcome to our very last segment. Unfortunately, our calls, our phone lines are now closed. But we'll continue with this conversation. In out of community property, Tafara, now Mpho, like, should I be worried? Gema retirement annuities, no gema pension funds.
You should be worried. They should be very worried.
Because
so it's the same principle.
My principles are the same. It's judgment even out of community property, excluding accrual, is now there's some form of accrual manje.
Yeah.
Wasn't
contributed.
Mosha tu mama angathi contributed. Veke ngwasha veke ayina ngihamba ngilanda ingane esikolweni and all those things. Nami ngifuna imali pension fund. Ngicela nje 25%. Nami ngifuna retirement annuity yakhe. Ngifuna investment yakhe. The court can say fine, he's entitled to it. Give him this amount. So no more safe anymore.
Yeah.
As long as somebody can prove.
I think futhi this new judgment izoyenza ukuthi marriage out of community of property with accrual ishiftise, because now seziyafana. Yeah, seziyafana manje. So akusana ukuthi with accrual without.
Yeah.
Seziyafana. So ipension yakho, if the judge decide ukuthi the wife must get 20%, she will get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think the judgment, Lena, will mitigate issues of gender equality la eMzansi?
Yes, mina ngicabanga kanjalo ukuthi izo mitigate igender equality eMzansi ngoba njoba usisibeke sitsho Mpho, sometimes kuyenzakala ukuthi umama umthihlala ekhaya wena ubaba uhamba esikoleni uyofunda yena ubusy uhandisa umuzi wakithi, get pregnant 9-10 months your life is stagnant, mina ngibusy ngiyaqhubeka ngempilo. So umama usually ente unakele ingane endlini sometimes. Obanye bahamba even emakhaya bahlala emakhaya.
Yeah.
Mina ngibhizi ngiyasebenza ngisedorobheni. Even sonke edorobheni yena uhlala endlini, take care of the house, mina ngibhizi ngiyasebenza. And sometimes kuyenzakala ukuthi njengendoda can even go Cape Town usebenzela khona, Durban, Polokwane, umama kumele abe khona endlini. So mina indoda I can make more money and be more aggressive in the market more than umama. Ngoba umama is busy with abantwana. Is busy nokunakela umuzi. So at the end of the day umama naye kumele athole something very very unfair ukuthi at the end of it mase sihlukana ngithi kokona mina kusebenze mina.
Yes.
But umama beke ngisupport again endlini. Mama akhulelwe ahamba maternity ward for maternity leave and all those things for quite some time angaqhubeki ngebusiness. It's as if both of us were self-employed.
Right.
Umama mamnika imali uthi siya akho umunzi, umama uyazaba ayothenga amasamenti nani. So she's actually contributing indirectly.
So what if a couple iyashada and then because of cultural and religious beliefs invoza itshela ke umama ukuthi no wena hlala ekhaya ungasasebenzi, and you find ukuthi umama was earning far more than the husband. So can the wife claim a bigger share of the estate? Ukuthi hayi phela wena ungiyekelise a very very high paying job, so I want a bigger share of the estate, because had it not been for ukuthi ngihlele ekhaya all my life, all my married life, I mean ngabe I would have been far in life.
I think you'll get 50%, not more
Is it
than
50%?
50. Yes.
Okay.
You can also claim, like now, people were actually claiming maintenance.
Yes.
Before this case, spouses that are married out of community of property, you are actually able to claim maintenance from indoda yakho.
Okay.
So indaba ye-maintenance dala yona ikhona. So now siza ngani manje ngendaba yama-assets, i-redistribution yama-assets.
Now, I want to put both of you on the chopping block. Njoba bengishilo ke ekuqaleni ukuthi ke hey bantu abanenge vele sebatawusapha kushada. Ngale ndzaba yalo mshado, ngale ndzaba yalo mthetho lo. So what would you advise people to do? Kulabo ke laba salungisela kushada. Should they go the traditional route? Should they marry in community of property or out of community of property based from your experience and the cases that you've worked on?
I think isimo is different from a person to person. Abaningi, it's good to be out of property excluding the accrual, depending kind of job that they're doing. For instance, discover ukuthi umuntu is a sole proprietor, is a ngudokotela, ungummeli. It means ukuthi mangabhadala ngerent lapha emsebenzini, it comes to your estate. Because the only person there who business. These days even ama lease agreements, they are saying be a surety as a person. So masishadla umuntu property, mangihlule ukubhadala i-rental yasemsebenzini law firm. They come to the assets. So it now depends nabantu ukuthi kona what kind of business, how risky it is, and the level of contribution. So most of the business these days that are risky and out there, people are going out in the marketplace, it can be safe to do out of property excluding the accrual.
Okay.
Why? Because marketing ngaba insolvent myself.
Yes.
E-state is protected, nomfazi is protected.
All right, we're out of time, unfortunately, Mpho.
Okay. So I would advise abantu basekhaya ukuthi bashade out of community of property, excluding i-accrual. Because in order for you ukuthi uthole i-judgment efana with the recent one in Pretoria, you actually have to prove your case.
Right.
So discretion judge you're not getting anything. You might be lucky, but at least you're getting 30% or 10%. So you just have to prove your case. So out of community, excluding accrual is the way to go, even now. Even after this judgment.
All right, Tafara, thank you so much for joining us. Let me thank our guests for making their time to be with us on the show. Please do join us again next Tuesday for yet another dose of consumer affairs. From me, Simphiwe Ncongwane, and the rest of the team, do have a great week ahead. Cheers.
Lakho mngani wami